Hello, this is National Chess Master at chess.com to continue my video series on the correspondence team match played between my video lessons group and the team CARPE DIEM. This was played on board 145. Our man is Echo 5, rating advantage about 1650 to 1550, and they each won a game, so I'm presenting the game our team member won, and I don't think he should have won this game. But then again, he missed a chance to win too, so we'll see what I mean. We have Queen's Gambit declined, and Black has a lot of happy choices here. Black could play the semi-Tarrasch defense. Black chooses to go into an Imzo Indian. And here I think White's just a little premature playing e3. There's nothing wrong with it, but White never gets an ambitious setup out of this. He never really gets anywhere. Black equalizes rather easily, and I was against knight e4 too, but White never found a way to exploit it. Now, I didn't look up theory. And based on the videos I've made, I really wonder how much theory our members are looking up. You know, when you have this access to all the material, either in books or on databases, why players aren't doing this, because it's quite obvious how many bad openings people are playing. They're just not using the tools out there to teach them openings and get good positions. Okay, so but White's not able to do anything against this move. White just has a solid setup here, and now Black kind of goes into something a little different. It's kind of like a Tartakower setup. This bishop's going to go here and c5, but then Black opts not to put his bishop on b7. So the b6 move is it wasted? Not necessarily. If Black plays c5, okay. Or if White was ever going to attack that pawn, it's not a target now. But unless Black proves something, that pawn move was a waste. And now White plays to open up some lines here, tries to undermine the defender of the knight on e4, and so here Black plays c6, and now maybe that b6 move is a waste. His bishop could have been on b7, and he could have been reinforcing the knight on e4 with knight f6, but this didn't happen. But nonetheless, I think Black's okay. I don't think White really has anything. See, White's got this really bad bishop. That's one of the reasons I think this a3 move was a little premature. Okay, White doesn't really need to get the bishop pair until he can get his own bishop activated. Let's just take a peek at this position here. This bishop can go to g5, and actually I think that's probably a good move, simply because in similar Queen's Gambit decline positions, when bishop goes to g5, this bishop doesn't necessarily come to b4. So let's get back to where we were, or close thereabouts. Okay, knight d2, and Black seizes the open file, and now look at this bishop. It can't even move now. And suddenly the Black pieces are springing to life on the king side. And a little bit of maneuvering going on here. Now Black has a mate and one threat, and White needs to weaken his position. There's two ways to do it: move the g pawn or move the f pawn. White opts to move the g pawn, and then bishop h3, and chases the rook out. Now the light squares around the king are pretty weak, but fortunately White has a light square defender, but if that's traded off, the light squares still stay weak. And all of White's pawns are on the color of his bishop. So, long range prospects in this just not good for White. So Black brings his other knight over to the queen side, or from the queen side to get it over to the king side to help have fun. And White looks for some relief, but again, this leaves him, still leaves him weak. He doesn't have, has but one defender for the king right now, but the queen is close, and theoretically this rook is close, but this is going to involve weakening his position further. He'll have to play f3, and that's going to weaken both e3 and g3. Okay, so let's go here. Black goes here. Now he's getting ready to try to administer some kind of a threat on h2. Queen h5, forcing a pawn advance, more weaknesses. White goes ahead and plays f3 now, and here Black blunders, and White does too. Knight takes e2 is just a bad move. White can win a piece. You know, it really makes me wonder how long people are spending on their correspondence games. Just simply Queen E2 pins the knight, and game over. White's going to win. What can I say? But there's another puzzle here we'll see in a little bit. Black's going to return the... Black blundered. White didn't take advantage of it. Black's going to return the favor. And we'll see what I mean here shortly. Now here, Black is trying to set up some kind of a rook sacrifice with perpetual check possibilities. And then here, Black decides to jettison the piece. And, you know, you would think that if Black is playing something as involved as this capture, willing to give up the piece now, he must have had something in mind. And we will see what he has in mind here. His motive is to sacrifice. And now, if White goes to H1, and the game will end in a draw because it's a repetition. The only chance White has to play for a win is to bring his king out. So certainly Black had to see this position when he offered the knight. And now Black has but one useful check. And again, if White comes back, it's a draw. Well, White comes up to F2 instead. And it was at this point that that Black resigned. And I don't think he has to resign here. I think Black can hold this position. He's down a rook and a bishop, but let's look a little further. You know, I mean, the notes don't say why he resigned, but he didn't have to. This is the other mystery, how he returned the favor. Just Queen H4 check. If the king comes back to F1, we're going to repeat with Queen H3, right? King G1, we're going to repeat with Queen G3. If king comes out, this is getting dangerous. It opens up lines for the rook, and you know, and this falls with check right away. So, and then this this pawn could get very dangerous unless White takes it. So, White's pretty much obligated to take this pawn, but now you see his king is exposed. And I think Black has legitimate chances of getting a perpetual check here. It's worth at least playing on to see what happens. You know, maybe White can win. I don't think White has a forced win, though. Black has a full 3 pawns for his piece. And the White king is not safe at all. So I'm thinking with correct play, Black can hold on here, at least for a while. It would have been worth trying. But I'm not inside the players' heads. I don't know what they expected. I've seen players resign completely winning games in this tournament or this match. I've seen games that players should have won suddenly be lost, and the culprit is moving too quick, and you know, giving up the knight on C4 when Black took this pawn, he had to know his knight was under attack, and he chose to give it up, yet his combination only went a few more moves and then he resigned. And as I pointed out, when Black captured on E3, what did he have in mind for Queen E2? Let's try something similar that happened in the game. Okay, trying to get a perpetual check. Okay, well, bishop takes, rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes, and once again, White is ahead of queen and a rook, and this time Black can't win a rook. Okay, so Black wasn't careful at this point, yet he seemed to present a well-thought idea by giving up the knight on C4. Unless that was an accident, he was playing quick and didn't see it could be taken. I don't know, but you know, games like this are just more proof why you need to use databases to look up the openings. Chess books are great. Databases help, and why you can't move quick. Okay. Anyway, appreciate you having a look. Thanks so much for playing the game, and thanks for watching. And I'll be back soon with another video. Take care.